What if the man America knew as the wholesome father from the Brady Bunch was living a double life? Rumors have swirled for years about Robert Reed's private life, a stark contrast to the cheerful family man he portrayed on screen. Growing up on an Oklahoma turkey farm, Reed's journey to Hollywood stardom was filled with its own set of challenges. How did these experiences shape his career? And what secrets did he carry with him to the grave? Join us as we uncover the untold story of Robert Reed. Robert Reed, the beloved father figure from the Brady Bunch, started life as John Robert Reitz Jr. in the leafy suburbs of Highland Park, Illinois. He was the only child of high school sweethearts Helen and John Robert Reitz, who tied the knot at the tender age of 18. Young John, or Bobby, as he was affectionately called, attended the local West Division school until the family packed up and moved to Texas in 1939. But the Reitz family was always on the move, thanks to John Sr.'s government job. They bounced from Texas to Oklahoma, finally settling in Muskogee, where John Sr. traded in his suit and tie for overalls and a cowboy hat, becoming a turkey and cattle farmer. Young Bobby's childhood was filled with chores on the farm and adventures in the great outdoors. But even as a young boy, he had a passion for acting and music. He spent countless hours performing in school plays and singing in the choir. Even though Robert Reed spent his days raising turkeys and cattle on the family farm, his heart was set on a different kind of stage. In his youth, he joined the 4-H agricultural club, showing off prize-winning calves. But his true passions were acting and music. During his high school years at Muskogee Central, Reed was a man of many talents. He participated in both acting and singing, showcasing his natural charisma and stage presence. He even dabbled in radio broadcasting, announcing for local stations and writing and producing his own radio dramas. Talk about a multi-talented teenager. After graduating in 1950, Reed set his sights on a bigger stage, Northwestern University, where he enrolled to study drama. Under the guidance of Alvina Krauss, a renowned drama coach, Reed flourished. He starred in over 8 college plays, always taking on leading roles and honing his acting skills. It was clear that Reed was destined for something bigger than the Oklahoma farm he grew up on. His passion for performing burned bright, and he was determined to make it in the world of entertainment. After his rebellious high school years, Reed crossed the pond to study at the prestigious Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London. It was a fancy school where many famous actors got their start. He spent a semester there, soaking up all the knowledge he could about the craft of acting. When he returned to the States, Reed jumped right back into performing, taking on roles in summer stock theater in Eagles Mere, Pennsylvania. It was like a training ground for actors where they could practice their skills and get experience in front of a live audience. Reed's passion for Shakespeare led him to join an off-Broadway theater group called the Shakespeare Rights. He played Romeo in Romeo and Juliet, the ultimate romantic hero, and also starred in A Midsummer Night's Dream, a magical comedy full of fairies and mischief. It was a time of exploration and growth for Reed as he delved into the world of classical theater. But Reed wasn't content to stay in one place. He moved on to the Studebaker Theater Company in Chicago, where he continued to hone his acting skills and build his resume. By this time, he had adopted the stage name Robert Reed, leaving behind his birth name of John Robert Reitz Jr. It was a fresh start, a new identity that reflected his ambition and determination to make it in the entertainment industry. In the late 1950s, Reed packed his bags and headed for Los Angeles, the heart of the movie industry. He was ready to take on Hollywood, armed with his talent, experience, and a new name. In 1959, Robert Reed landed his first guest appearance on the popular TV show Father Knows Best. It was a small role, but it opened the door to more opportunities. He then snagged guest spots on shows like Men into Space and Lawman, and even made his film debut in the horror flick Bloodlust. But his big break came in 1961, when he landed the starring role in the legal drama The Defenders. He played Kenneth Preston, a young lawyer working alongside his father, played by E.G. Marshall. The show was a hit, and Reed's performance earned him critical acclaim. Interestingly, both Reed and Marshall had a connection to the famous Actors Studio in New York. Marshall was one of the founding members, and Reed joined the prestigious group around the same time he landed the role in The Defenders. He would remain a member for the next 30 years, using the studio's techniques to hone his craft and deepen his understanding of acting. The Defenders was a huge hit with viewers, and the show was nominated for a whopping 22 Emmy Awards. E.G. Marshall, who played Reed's on-screen dad, even won 2 Emmys for his performance, and the show itself won twice for Outstanding Drama Series. That's like winning the Super Bowl of television. But even with all the awards and high ratings, The Defenders wasn't immune to network shenanigans. When CBS moved the show from its Saturday night slot to Thursdays, the ratings took a nosedive. It was a bummer. But that's just how the TV business works sometimes. CBS eventually pulled the plug on the show in 1965, leaving Reed to explore new opportunities. Even while filming The Defenders, Reed couldn't resist the allure of Broadway. In 1964, he stepped into the shoes of Paul Bratter in Neil Simon's hilarious comedy Barefoot in the Park, taking over the role from none other than Robert Redford. It was a big step for Reed, transitioning from the small screen to the bright lights of Broadway. For the rest of the 1960s, Reed mostly appeared in guest roles on various TV shows, like Family Affair, Ironside, and The Mod Squad. He even popped up in a Bob Hope special, proving his versatility as an actor. He also had a small role in the 1968 movie Star, a musical about the life of actress Gertrude Lawrence. And to top it all off, he appeared in another Broadway production, the Italian set comedy Avanti. Reed was a man in demand, juggling multiple projects and showcasing his talent on both stage and screen. But his biggest role, the one that would define his career and cement his place in television history, was just around the corner. Reed's Broadway gig in Barefoot in the Park was a real game changer. It landed him not one, but 2 juicy contracts in 1968, one with Paramount Pictures for movies and another with ABC for television. Talk about hitting the jackpot. But then things took an unexpected turn. Paramount decided to shake things up and make the TV version of Barefoot in the Park a show with mostly black actors. It was a bold move for the time, and it meant they needed to find a new project for Reed. Enter the Brady Bunch. This brand new series was about a widowed dad with 3 sons who falls in love with a widowed mom with 3 daughters. It was the first blended family on TV, and it all started with a news article that caught the eye of the show's creator, Sherwood Schwartz. He saw the growing trend of marriages with kids from previous relationships and thought, this is it, the first blended family, his kids and her kids, together. It was a revolutionary idea for its time, and little did anyone know that it would become a beloved classic, capturing the hearts of generations of viewers. Believe it or not, Robert Reed wasn't the first pick to play Mike Brady. The producers had their eye on Gene Hackman, but he was considered a nobody back then, so they passed on him. Oops. Turns out that was a pretty big mistake, as Hackman went on to become a major Hollywood star. Instead, they cast Robert Reed as the all-American dad, Mike Brady. Florence Henderson landed the role of his wife, Carol Brady, after another actress, Shirley Jones, turned it down to star in The Partridge Family. Ann B. Davis rounded out the cast as the lovable housekeeper, Alice Nelson. When The Brady Bunch premiered in 1969, it didn't exactly get rave reviews from critics. In fact, some of them were pretty harsh. And it never even made it into the top 30 most popular shows during its 5 seasons on the air. But that didn't stop it from becoming a huge hit with audiences. Kids and families loved watching the wholesome adventures of this blended family, and it quickly became a staple of 1970s TV. Even after the show ended in 1974, The Brady Bunch lived on. It was shown over and over again in reruns, and it inspired several spin-offs, reunion movies, and even a couple of funny parody films. The Brady Bunch became a pop culture phenomenon, and Robert Reed will forever be remembered as the dad who brought this iconic family together. Right from the start, Robert Reed wasn't exactly thrilled with his role as the sunny and wholesome Mike Brady. As a classically trained actor with a love for Shakespeare, he felt that acting in this silly sitcom was a bit beneath him. He thought the storylines were often ridiculous and didn't reflect real family dynamics. But Reed wasn't one to just sit back and complain. He constantly butted heads with Sherwood Schwartz, the show's creator, arguing over the scripts and trying to inject more realism into the show. He even wrote detailed notes explaining why certain plot points didn't make sense or why certain jokes fell flat. Schwartz, on the other hand, wasn't too keen on Reed's suggestions. He wanted to keep the show light and fluffy, full of gags and silly situations. But to keep the peace, he occasionally let Reed direct a few episodes. Reed later admitted in an interview that their clashes were frequent, especially over the scripts. He said, "We fought over the scripts, always over the scripts." He felt that Schwartz, who had previously created the goofy sitcom Gilligan's Island, was more focused on jokes than on creating believable characters and storylines. Despite these behind-the-scenes tensions, the cast members of The Brady Bunch actually got along well with Reed. They respected his talent and appreciated his dedication to the craft of acting, even if they didn't always agree with his critiques of the show. It was a classic case of creative differences, but in the end, it didn't stop The Brady Bunch from becoming a beloved classic. Sometimes, even a little bit of tension can lead to something great. The final straw for Robert Reed was the episode that ended up being the show's swan song, The Harebrained Scheme. He thought it was just too ridiculous, so he sent a long memo to Schwartz, listing everything wrong with it. But Schwartz didn't get the memo in time to change anything, and Reed was so mad he refused to act in the episode at all. By this point, Schwartz was fed up with Reed's constant criticism and decided to replace him for the next season. But before that could happen, ABC canceled the show. So, it was goodbye Brady Bunch for everyone. Reed later confessed that he only took the role of Mike Brady for the money. He needed to pay the bills after all. But even though he didn't always like the show, he tried to stay positive by focusing on the kids. He knew the show was mainly for them, and he genuinely cared about his young co-stars. Reed was like a father figure to the kids on set, always looking out for them and offering guidance. Even though he was unhappy with the show, he never let it show on camera. He was a true professional. always delivering a top-notch performance, even if he was secretly rolling his eyes at the silly storylines. It's a testament to his dedication as an actor that he could put aside his personal feelings and still create a beloved character that millions of viewers grew up with. But behind the scenes, the tension between Reed and Schwartz was real, and it ultimately led to the end of an era for the Brady Bunch. The Brady kids weren't just Robert Reed's co-stars. They became like family. Susan Olsen, who played Cindy Brady, even became close friends with Reed's daughter Karen, who made a guest appearance on the show in the episode The Slumber Caper. It was like a real-life Brady Bunch moment. Reed's last appearance on the show was in the episode The Hustler. His final line, "Now I can get my car in the garage," might seem simple, but it marked the end of an era for both Reed and the show itself. It was a bittersweet moment, as Reed had a love-hate relationship with the series, but he had undoubtedly left his mark on television history. While he was still playing Mike Brady, Reed also had a recurring role on another popular TV show called Mannix. He played Lieutenant Adam Tobias, a police officer, appearing in several episodes each season. It was a chance for him to show off his serious acting chops and explore a different kind of character. Reed even directed a few episodes of The Brady Bunch himself, adding his own creative touch to the series. He was a man of many talents, and his experience in theater and film helped him bring a unique perspective to the show. But things weren't always smooth sailing for Reed. In 1972, he got caught up in a legal battle with Anglia Television after his agents accidentally double-booked him for a film in England. The case, Anglia Television Ltd v. Reed, became a landmark decision in contract law, highlighting the importance of fulfilling professional commitments. After saying farewell to the Brady Bunch in 1974, Robert Reed wasn't ready to retire his acting chops. He returned to the stage and made guest appearances on various TV shows and movies. He even tackled a groundbreaking role as a transgender doctor in a two-part episode of Medical Center in 1975. It was a bold and sensitive performance that earned him critical acclaim and an Emmy nomination. Talk about breaking barriers. In the same year, he played a seemingly normal family man with a dark secret in the TV movie The Secret Night Caller. His character struggled with a compulsion to make obscene phone calls to women, a far cry from the wholesome Mike Brady. Reed's performance was chilling and showed a different side to his acting abilities. But Reed didn't stop there. He continued to take on challenging roles, appearing in the TV movie The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, 1976, which told the true story of a boy born with a rare immune deficiency. He also starred in the miniseries Rich Man, Poor Man, 1976, and the iconic miniseries Roots, 1977, both of which earned him Emmy nominations. It was clear that Reed was a versatile actor who could handle any genre thrown his way. He also made guest appearances on popular shows like The Love Boat, Wonder Woman, Hawaii Five-0, Charlie's Angels, Galactica, 1980 Langs, and Vega. He was like a chameleon, blending into different roles and bringing his own unique charm to each one. Robert Reed's career after The Brady Bunch was a testament to his dedication to his craft and his willingness to explore diverse characters. He proved that he was more than just a TV dad, but a talented actor with a wide range of abilities. In 1981, he landed the lead role of Dr. Adam Rose in the medical drama Nurse. Critics loved his performance, but sadly the show didn't last long. Reed wasn't one to give up easily, though. In 1986, he joined the cast of the daytime soap opera Search for Tomorrow, where he played the character Lloyd Kendall. He also made appearances on other popular shows like Fantasy Island, Hunter, The Love Boat, and Murder, She Wrote. It seemed like he was popping up everywhere. Even though he wasn't thrilled with the Brady Bunch, Reed still showed up for the reunions and spin-offs. In 1976, he even reprised his role as Mike Brady in a variety show called The Brady Bunch Hour. And guess what? He actually enjoyed it this time. He loved getting to sing and dance, showing a whole new side to his talent. Reed was a true professional, always willing to put on a show for his fans. Even though he preferred more serious roles, he knew that Mike Brady had a special place in people's hearts. And despite his personal feelings about the character, he always gave it his all, making Mike Brady the beloved TV dad we all know and love. Even though Robert Reed grumbled about the Brady Bunch, he couldn't seem to escape the Brady family for good. He kept coming back for more, appearing in spin-offs and reunions like The Brady Girls Get Married in 1981 and A Very Brady Christmas in 1988. He even popped up as Mike Brady in a special episode of the sitcom Day by Day in 1989. Reed's final on-screen appearance was in an episode of Jake and the Fat Man in 1992. It was a bittersweet moment for fans as they watched the beloved actor grace the screen for the last time. But even in his final days, Reed's passion for acting never wavered. He appeared in a touring production of the play Love Letters with Betsy Palmer, and even taught Shakespeare classes at UCLA. It was a fitting end to a career that spanned decades, leaving behind a legacy of memorable performances and a lasting impact on the world of entertainment. While Robert Reed was portraying the picture-perfect family man on TV, he was wrestling with a secret that he couldn't share with the world. Reed was gay, and back in the 60s and 70s, being openly gay in Hollywood was a big no-no. It could ruin your career and turn your life upside down. Years after Robert Reed's passing, a truth that he'd kept hidden came to light. His Brady Bunch co-stars, like Barry Williams, Greg Brady, and Florence Henderson, Carol Brady, revealed that he was gay. They said that everyone on the show, both cast and crew, knew about it, but they kept it a secret to protect Reed's career. In a 2000 interview, Henderson shared that Reed was a deeply unhappy person because of this double life he had to lead. She felt sorry for him, seeing the pain he endured to hide who he truly was. On May 12, 1992, Robert Reed passed away at the age of 59. His death was initially attributed solely to cancer, but it was later revealed that he was also HIV positive. This revelation shocked the public and shed new light on the private struggles Reed had faced throughout his life. His death, while heartbreaking, also served as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of HIV/AIDS during that era, touching even the lives of beloved figures like America's Dad.